Matt Rule just does not have a clue on how to run an offense.
Luke Getsky should be fired. He should be fired today.
I'll stand by you. Micah, bro, you got smoke.
Welcome to FaZe Fantasy Live with your host, Lonnie Z.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Lonnie Z, and this is FaZe Fantasy Live, 2 days away from kickoff. With me tonight, as usual, is my partner in crime, Jake Hansen. What's going on, Jake? How you doing, brother?
I'm ready.
Let's get into some of these games. What we're thinking for week one, Thursday game, baby. Baltimore and Kansas City. Once again, the Chiefs start the season. Once again, it's on a Thursday night. Last season, they started against the Lions. The Lions came in. That's when Chris Jones was holding out. Kelsey was hurt, didn't play in that game. And the Lions came in and got busy. They came in and handled their business. We all got to see Jahmyr Gibbs for the first time. He looked flashy. Rashee Rice looked probably the best of all the Chief, offensive players that day. But now this Chief team, man, Mahomes has some weapons. Mm-hmm. And if you didn't get Rashee Rice on your team, hopefully you got a Xavier Worthy, because I wanted to be in that offense, right?
That's what that's big on right now.
For sure. That all being said, though, man, I look at both sides of this ball. I see Mahomes should have a big year this year. I think he has some of those weapons back. Their injury report is clean other than Hollywood Brown. He's the only
Brown's
one.
Out.
Yeah. Everyone else is fine. Everyone else is playing. It's going to be good. So the full arsenal will be there. Pacheco, all of them, they'll be there. But on the other side, man, Baltimore, I think Derrick Henry changes things. Mm-hmm. I really do. And Andrews, by all accounts, is okay. He had that accident and he missed some practice and stuff, but they're saying that he's fine. Lamar loves the challenge of playing against Mahomes and vice versa. They love that whole rivalry. I like in this game, I like Baltimore to steal it and to cover that. They get 3 points right now. It's 3 points. What are you thinking about that game?
No, I agree with you. I think that this is a big game for Lamar and Baltimore to get that back from the playoff loss. They froze. Lamar froze that game. When playoffs come around, he gets a little skittish. So. No Hollywood Brown. I'm really big on Xavier. I'm really big. If they were playing on Sunday, I would probably put Xavier in on the streaming roster. Henry, first game back with the first game with Baltimore. The only thing that's still a little frustrating for me is that they're not putting receivers around Baltimore. So, you have Zay Flowers, but that's it. You're still messing with Bateman. Like, come on, man. You're still trying. Maybe it turns out, but like you said, Andrews is back and healthy. So, Justice Hill is backing up Henry. They're hoping in 4 weeks. They're hoping Keaton Mitchell will be back. So, but yeah. I can see Henry having a great game this Thursday. I can see Baltimore beating him too.
Yeah, it should be a good game, man. It really should. We'll see. I know that the Chiefs are really set on three-peating, man. They've been vocal about it. They really want to make history and get a three-peat, and that would be crazy if they did that. That hasn't been done before. No one's won 3 Super Bowls in a row. So, that would be unprecedented for sure. So we both got Baltimore in that game, and we'll just have to see from the fantasy perspective for that one single game slate on FanDuel or DraftKings. I think you could go with I like Xavier. I like Xavier in that slot right there. I think he might pay off big time. Other than that, there's all kinds of you got Lamar, there's so many players in that particular game. That's going to be a hard one. But if, depending on what his price is on FanDuel and DraftKings, he might not be a bad one to stick in your lineup.
Well, when they do the single game rosters, it's a little high. You know, they always 15, 16,000, but he's probably a little cheaper than that. But don't forget, the Baltimore's defense is a good defense, man. The Chiefs aren't a slouch either, but Baltimore has a good, good defensive setup. But we'll see with McDonald gone. You know, we'll see how good they do this year.
Yeah, man, with John Harbaugh, they're gonna be fine. Yeah, man, I'm loving Rashee Rice this year. I think Rashee Rice is gonna have a monster year. I had to have him on my both my teams. I took him probably around earlier just so I can make sure I get him. But I'm loving Rashee Rice. That's probably from both of those two teams. He'd be my guy that I would say I had to have this year. The Friday night game. So the NFL is going to do a Friday game, and the Eagles and the Packers. Packers are getting 3 points. The over under is 48.5. I probably would go under on that. Who do you like in this game?
This is a tricky one, man, for me. Both, Green Bay showed up in the end of the year. Philly dropped, right? Philly the bad. So Philly got a lot of guys on the defense this year. They got Saquon Barkley. To be honest, my first thought is Green Bay, Josh Jacobs. That was my first thought, to be honest with you. Josh Jacobs having a great game. Seeing if Jordan Love keep rolling from last year with Reed, Watson, Dobbs, Wicks. That Eagles team, I just don't know. I just don't know if they're for real or if they're just going to struggle from last year. If Sirianni has them ready like they did the year before when they went to the Super Bowl, it's a tough one. It really is. I think I'm going to go with Philly. I mean, do you think Jordan Love's going to continue? For some reason, I've just been hearing a lot of chatter lately. And it's like, oh, is Jordan Love going to be this? Is Jordan Love going to be that? Well, he signed a big contract. Everybody was all over him at the end of the year. Now it seems like they're backpedaling on him. And I don't know why.
Yeah, I think he's going to be fine. I think Jordan Love's, a good player. I think we have to remember, it's not like he was a rookie last year.
No.
He sat and watched Aaron Rodgers for a couple of seasons before he got a shot. So
he's like 4 or 5 years in.
Yeah, so he's not. It's kind of like what they did with Rodgers. Rodgers sat around. It seemed like forever watching Brett Favre's old ass, sling it around. But I think Jordan Love's going to be fine. I didn't touch this game, and I wouldn't touch this game. I don't know who's going to win it. It's one of those like you're right,
honestly.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be an under. I don't know if they're going to do 48.5 points because it's out of the country. Historically those games are low scoring. First game of the season.
Out of both teams, who's going to have the best fantasy game? Who's going to have the best fantasy game?
Well, I could see Jalen Hurts still getting a touch push or something and opening it up. I think if I was looking at the two new running backs for those teams, I'd say Saquon would have the edge in that. And then for receivers, man, like you and I, we've talked in the offseason and stuff. Christian Watson, if he can get going, that'll be great for them. But if he can't, they do have other receivers for sure. But A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, man, fantasy-wise, I would be leaning on the Eagle side.
Same here.
Yeah. So
same here. I'm excited for that game, to be honest with you. It's one of those ones. It's a flip of a coin to me. Like I really don't know. I really don't know. I mean, it's like you think we would have been the same with the Chiefs in Baltimore, but I just feel like Baltimore has something to play for on this game because they blew the playoff game. So, but the Green Bay Philly,
yeah,
Philly has some weapons that could really turn that game or just go. So they got two big boys down in the line too, man.
Mm-hmm.
They got there were a couple big boys down there, so we'll see how Jacobs could get through.
We will. We'll see. On to the next game. So but it's cool to have a game on Friday night though, for a change. So I like that the NFL's doing that. Cardinals and the Bills. Sunday, Cardinals, Bills, man. Kyler Murray's back, 100%. They got some new weapons for him with Trey McBride is probably going to be contending for the best tight end, fantasy tight end in the league. You have Marvin Harrison Jr., the rookie. Everyone's saying he's, the next Fitzgerald.
Mhm.
They need to pump brakes on that though.
Yeah.
All that being said, I like Buffalo. I like Josh Allen. Um, you know, Curtis Samuel is questionable, but he's trending to be able to play. And same with Valdez Scantling. They're saying he may be able to play too. It's kind of still, you know, so that could affect Dalton Kincaid, who I like Dalton Kincaid this year, man. I think he's going to have a good year. They have to make up for 240 targets that left with Gabe Davis and Diggs. What do you think about this game?
I think it's gonna be a game of tight ends. You got McBride, you have Kincaid. I think it's gonna be I think they're gonna be big in this game. Marvin Harrison, we don't know yet. We don't know anything yet, to be honest. I think Buffalo's gonna take this game, but just being in Buffalo, uh, offensive wise, Cardinals could have a good game on the offensive side. Connors, I was looking at a prize picks, and Connors only is they have the over under at 54,
Oh wow.
and that's not that bad. Buffalo has a lot of injuries. They just had another injury to one of their linebackers. They lost a couple of their deep back guys this year for free agency and injuries again. Um, Josh Allen, though, like I can see Kyler doing something, but I think Buffalo's going to be a little too powerful for him. And yes, I'd see James Cook having a good game. And Keon Coleman, don't forget about Keon Coleman going against the Cardinals. Cardinals defense but did not do good preseason. There's a lot of bad talk about them right now. They had some injuries too, but they still got Buda Baker in the back. But it's hard to pick against the Bills.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing Keon Coleman. Out of Florida State, and he had a
Mhm.
good college career, man. So we'll see. We'll see if he's able to step into that wide receiver one slot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mhm.
And Shakir, man, Khalil Shakir,
Shakir's big. Yep.
bro. I think he's gonna have a good year. I really do. I think only thing that was wrong with him last year is he just didn't have enough opportunities. So I
Mhm.
think he's gonna surprise some people. Um, Yeah, but I'm with you. I got Buffalo in that game too. Cincinnati and New England. Bro, this is a 9.5 point spread. Well, ESPN has it at 7.5, but FanDuel has it at 9.5. Bro, and that's I couldn't touch that 9.5. You know, I just can't, you got a new coach in with the Patriots and it's a whole new vibe, so I don't know if they're just gonna go
I'm
into
not.
Cincinnati and get blown out. Oh, it is okay. It's dropped down now. It's back to 7.5. Okay, so the official is 7.5, but it was at 9.5 yesterday. Um, what do you think about this game?
I don't know. I think Drake May should be starting. To be honest with you, uh, New England has a receiver, Polk, young kid. He's I think number two, number three. Douglas. There's some guys that keep your eye on and see what they do. I could see Stevenson coming out of his shell this year. Last year he had some injuries. A lot of people were high on Stevenson last year. This year I think he'll be. I think he's gonna do something. I think he'll do something. It's just but the bad thing is they're gonna man the box with the Brissett quarterback. Hunter
Yeah,
Henry, he's wasting his years over there in New England. It's just kind of, it doesn't make sense.
yeah,
Cincinnati, we'll see. Higgins is going to play. You have Zach Moss, the new running back. Then you have Brown. See how much they're going to use Brown with him and Moss. I've been seeing a lot of reports that Brown's creeping on him pretty hard.
yeah.
Jamar Chase. I think with or without him, they're going to beat New England either way. But Jamar
I
Chase,
agree.
that's pretty much
I
what's
agree.
what's he going to do?
Yeah, I agree 100%. The over under is 40.40 and a half. Um, I don't know.
That's not too bad,
Yeah, I
unless
probably wouldn't.
Cincinnati just tears the back out of them. To be
Yeah,
honest, that's not
yeah.
bad. Like I would take the under on that, but I honestly, I think I took New England. I'm not going to lie to you. I think I was probably like 95% on the good side when I took New England under every time. I think the games they played, I took the under, and I think I've won every time.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially with not knowing what's up with Chase. I will tell you this. There's one guy that I try to draft on all my teams, and I think I got him. Yeah, I got him in on both my teams this year. Is Chase Brown.
Mhm.
I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. I'm excited to see what he's going to do this year because I don't believe Zach Moss is going to be number one all year.
Yeah.
He's never been a number one. He's filled in admirably, but I don't think he's going to be a number one all year. I like Cincinnati in that game too, man. I just think they have too much firepower.
And one more I want to say about the last game we talked about the Buffalo Bill game. It depends how Cardinals' offense are going. Don't be surprised you start seeing Trey Benson in there quicker than later behind Connor.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I'm just saying, man, he's younger legs, or he's looking better in camp. For us being out here in Arizona, we hear a lot more about this stuff out here about this team, and they say he looks way quicker. Connor's looking like a step slower. We'll see. I mean, there's nothing to lose for the Cardinals to not play him, to be honest.
Now, I'm sure he'll get some playing time. Unless Connor gets hurt, though, I don't think they're going to make a change. Not in week
No,
one.
I don't think so.
And he's a rookie. Of course, he's going to look quicker. Everyone wants the shiny toy out here. Like we said, Marvin Harrison's the next coming.
Oh,
and so we'll see. And Harrison is good, and his dad was great, and so we'll see. We'll see. But no, I feel you on that. Trey Benson, we didn't mention him. I'm glad you mentioned him because he's worth being mentioned. He is going to be creeping on Connor all year, for sure, all year. He's going to increase his role, I think, all year. Well, the next game.
But the 54 yards, like I said on Price Picks, that's a good. Like when I say 54 yards, you're like, what? Like that's not bad. Like that's
bro,
not bad.
I might have to get in on some of that one right there. 54. I mean, you feel like he could fall over and get that. You know what I'm saying?
That's insane.
And Connor's still good, man. He's I like James Conner. Vikings Giants. Now the spread is 2. It was 1.5. Now it's 2. Vikings are the favorite to go in, and so I guess the money's starting to go towards the Vikings. Jordan Addison should be able to play. He's trending in that direction. I mean, we talked about that in the intro, so he should be all right. Dalton Reisner is out for the first few weeks of the season. That's their guard. So we'll see. And on the other side, the Giants got Malik Neighbors, who's going to give the Vikings fits, but they also have, Daniel Jones,
true.
And so, what's he going to do? He can which Daniel Jones is going to show up? The one who looks really good sometimes, or the not so good one? We'll see. I like the Vikings. I like Jefferson to get in the end zone. He didn't do it for the first few weeks last season. And then, so I think they're really going to try and get him involved early this year, kind of be a crutch to Sam Darnold. And man, you know what? Darnold, this is like his 5th season in the league. He was a 3rd overall pick. This is his 4th team already, 5th or 6th season. It's not like he's a kid. It reminds me a little bit, and you and I spoke about this before, of the Baker Mayfield, and just maybe this is his time. Maybe he's in the right spot. I've never thought he was a bad quarterback, but I never thought he was a really good or great quarterback either. He was just a quarterback, and in a good system, I think he'll be all right. I like the Vikings in this one, and who do you like, or what do you like about this game or dislike?
The good thing about Darnold, like you said about the Baker Mayfield effect, is like Baker has a receiver that he could just throw it up, and with Mike Evans. Mike Evans 13 touchdowns last year. JJ's better than Mike Evans. So and he's younger, but that's one thing that's going to help. And there's Addison and Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is a great player. Blocks, gets catches out of the backfield. So the Vikings don't have they don't have too bad of an offense, but it's the Sam Darnold effect. And it's just it's just hard. But the Giants, Daniel Jones is like, how much more are they going to take? With them. Singletary's a running back. They have Tracy. They have Gray. But those, and the receiving core is not that strong. They have Neighbors, but tight end wise, not too strong. They have a Hyatt as the receiver also.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing that I was saying, I think the Giants defense, I think with the front four.
Yeah.
They have Banks now. They have what's his name? Thibodeau.
Yep.
Thibodeau, Banks and Thibodeau with the and Sam's frozen, man. Sam don't run. So don't hate me, man, but I think Giants, like I told you before, I think that's the only I don't know. I don't have a lot of promise with Darnold. I watched with the Niners last year. He threw a lot of flat balls.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I hope that the Vikings do figure it out. And they did, I thought, with JJ. I thought they were going to give JJ a chance. I think JJ was going to start over him. Darnold was supposed to start over, but I think JJ was going to take it. I think so.
Titans and Bears. All right, so you got the Titans and Bears. Hard Knocks, man. Everyone's all on the Bears, riding the Bears. The Bears, the Bears, the Bears, the Bears. They're the greatest team. The Bears.
The Bears.
There's a lot to be excited about, though. I ain't gonna lie. They had a real good offseason. Preseason, they went 4-0. Whenever Caleb was in there, he looked good. He fit the suit. That was preseason, man. I still don't trust Eberflus as far as I could throw him. They did put a lot of pieces around that offense. Their defense was already getting stronger last year.
Mm-hmm.
So this game, the Bears are at home. I would take the Bears. I don't know if I'm going to, it's 4 points. The spread's 4 points. Over under is 44.5. So I don't know if I'd really touch this game at all, but I think the Bears are going to win. From a fantasy perspective, it's a good week to stream, Caleb. Week 1, you said that you think he might, bust out of the gate with at least 20 points, his first in his debut. I think DJ is going to have a good game. DJ Moore. I don't know how his season's going to go this year. I don't know if he's going to do what he did last year. He's going to have a pretty good season, I think. But I'm excited about Rome. Seeing what Rome Odunze. Yeah, Rome Odunze. What he's going to do. I think him and Caleb. They both played in the Pac-10. He was with Washington. Caleb was SC, so they know each other. So we'll see how that all works out. Swift, and on the other side, bro, I think that remember how much hype there was about Pollard? He was going in the second round. Pollard. I took him
last year.
Yeah, and he nothing, but he had got banged up the year before, and he was kind of banged up all last year, bro. And they just didn't. Dallas, once they lost Zeke, it's almost like they forgot how to run the ball, So I think this year with Tennessee, he's going to have a much better year, man. I think he's flying under some radars. I think Pollard's going to have a good year this year. I don't think he's washed. I don't think he's washed. And then he's got Tajay Spears there, who's kind of had knee problems his whole career. And so, it's always nagging with him. It's nothing that keeps him out for extended time, but it's always nagging. So we'll see about that. And I like Will Levis. I do. I like the gunslinger in him. And if D-Hop is back, you were saying you thinking he's probably going to be back. I don't even see him on this injury report. So if he's not on this injury report, he's probably going to play. So,
this game's an exciting game. Like I really want to see both sides. Like you said, Pollard and Sharp, but then you have Ridley and you have Hopkins with Levis on that side, and Tennessee could sneak this one out. Honestly, Tennessee has not been smucks on defense. Last year, the defense
I
wasn't too
agree.
bad. I think they were one of the best rushing defense in the league last year. This year, we'll see how it goes. Vrabel's gone. They have a new coach, so yeah, it's a Caleb. I mean, that's the biggest hype. I mean, that's going to be the biggest watched game. That's going to be the biggest watched game Sunday, man. And he has a lot of weapons
Mhm.
to go around. And like you said, DJ might, he's going to lose some targets. You got Keenan, and you have Dunze and Kemet and Komet. So to be honest, Swift, I'm not too high on Swift. I'm just having a hard time with that this year with Swift. But that's gonna be a tough game.
I agree.
That's gonna be a good game, and the Bears defense is fire. I think
Yeah.
Bears defense is gonna be a lot better than everybody thinks they are. But I wouldn't slack on Tennessee though. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't slack on that offense. Like you said, Tony Pollard. Nobody knows. Nobody knows if he shows up what we think he might show up.
Bro, I think we're going to see a whole different Tennessee team. So their new coach is Brian Callahan. He was the offensive coordinator for the Bengals last year. He brings over Tyler Boyd for the number 3. You got Ridley at number 2, or Ridley at number 1 and D-Hop at number 2. Bro, this team is ready. They're built to, and if he runs that offense anything like they ran Cincinnati's offense, because he's calling the plays. So he's the offensive coordinator and the head coach. This is going to be a different team, bro. This isn't.
Nobody's given Levis the hope at all either. Nobody's saying anything about him.
No, I like Will Levis. Always have.
Mhm.
Last year he's a gunslinger, man. What's not to love about a kid
Mhm.
who could throw it out of the stadium? So yeah, man, you're right. It could go either way. All the hype's about the Bears, but hype in preseason and
Mhm.
regular season, two different things.
Yep.
Damn. You know what, man? I'm flopping. Let me just flop my pick. I'm gonna take Tennessee in this one to come on the road and
I am
steal
too.
one from the Bears.
I am
And
too.
sorry, Chris, my boy
Yeah,
Chris is
sorry.
not gonna like that, but I got Tennessee. So we're both on Tennessee's hype train. We talked
Yeah,
ourselves
I'm on
into it.
Tennessee I'm on Tennessee this week too. Nothing. I mean, there's no hard feelings or nothing, but it's just
No.
I just have a feeling because it's all the Bears hype, and they might come in just
Yeah. I agree. Because they come from good coaching anyway. The guys who are still there, they had a good atmosphere in Tennessee all those years that Vrabel was there. Just hard nosed work, go to work, get your job done. And now they got a offensive minded coach in there. We'll see what happens. We will see. All right, Carolina Panthers, New Orleans Saints. I got New Orleans just because until Carolina does anything in the football world, I just can't jump on Carolina. Now Carolina, they've made some changes too. It's not like this is the same old Panthers. Well, I don't know. Maybe it is the same old Panthers, but they've made some changes, and they have Dave Canales has come over. He was a Tampa Bay's offensive coordinator, and so they're saying that his style is going to be much better. I don't know if that's too impressive to me. I mean, it was basically Mike Evans. Baker Mayfield had a good year. Chris Godwin complained a lot. He was kind of banged up. So I don't know if Dave Canales is the answer here.
I would like to see Bryce do something a little more than last year. I'd like to see him do good. I would like to see him get that team rolling. They got a rookie receiver, Legette. He there's a lot of promise. He's big, strong player from South Carolina. Jonathan Brooks is a big hype. Like, he's the biggest hype running back in the league, even over Trey Benson. Like, rookie wise, he has more hype than Trey Benson. So I just hope they play a little better. To be honest, I hope they play a little better. They got Deontay Johnson over there. Hopefully he gets that offense moving. But just right now it's Chuba Hubbard and Miles Sanders, and I wish they would have did something a little different. But Saints, like a fantasy play, you got Olave, you got Kamara. We'll see. Kamara, let's see if he does better this year. Yeah, he hasn't had a good year in a couple of years, so it's kind of a rough game. But, Derek Carr, you're not going to touch him. You're not going to touch him. So Kamara or Olave, and Saints going to win.
Well, what do you think about Clint Kubiak? He's running their offense now. I think that's going to help him.
Derek Carr's still the quarterback, though. Derek Carr's still making the stupid mistakes. And
Clint Kubiak gets a lot of credit for Brock Purdy, man. For helping him, coach him up and stuff, and
True.
the passing game for the Niners.
I know.
But I'm with you, man. I'm not excited. As long as Dennis Allen is the head coach, and I know you're going to be ranting about him all damn year, so we'll get geared up for that. Yeah, it's one of those toss-up games, and we're just gonna have to see.
How about this? I think the Saints are going to beat them, but I hope Carolina beats them. That's how I feel.
Yeah, it'd be nice for Carolina to
Mm-hmm.
start off 1-0 on the road. All right, let's go down to Atlanta. They made some changes. They got a quarterback that they can trust, but he's coming off of an Achilles, tear. So I don't know, man. He might need, like we were just saying a little while ago, he might need a few weeks of actual football play to get it going. But he's still got to be better than Ritter or whoever they were running out there last year. I think the biggest thing they did was got rid of their stupid coach, which is on the flip side now. Arthur Smith is calling the plays for Pittsburgh. What is up with Tomlin, man? Mike Tomlin, I thought he was a smart guy. He goes and hires this retread, this the Steelers off, and they're already in the offseason looking like they're trash. They can't figure out a quarterback. They go out and get
trash.
Two of the look, if you're going to do this, I think they should have got Justin. If they were going to get Justin Fields, they should have got Justin, put a system around him that fits his style of play, and make him the lead, and have the old man to back him up. And maybe that's their plan moving. Maybe they're going to just, these two guys just going back and forth, and it's just it's Russell Wilson. We know that Russell Wilson's done, and I don't know, man. I like Atlanta in this game. I like Bijan. I like Pitts. I like London.
Me too. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Kirk Cousins should make these guys better.
We can't take away how Pittsburgh's got a good defense. They really do. They really do. So I can't take that away from them. You got Watt and Hayward just signed a 3-year deal today. Cam Hayward, old man, but he's there. They have a good DBs in the back, safeties. I like Jalen Warren this year. I think Jalen Warren is going to go over the top of Najee. Sorry, but I think he's going to take it from him. The whole thing about Kirk Cousins, like you're saying, injuries. But I like Atlanta. I think Bijan's going to do a lot, and London, Pitts. I like that. And last year we talked about it a lot, but Smith couldn't do nothing with them. So, when you're talking about Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, and I mean, do you think that it's just that I think Tomlin thought that he was going to play Fields, and then he just couldn't. Like, he knew deep in that he just can't. Like, Justin Fields is not it. I think Tomlin probably thought that he could have did something, because, like you said, Russell Wilson's done. And if he's that done, why wouldn't you play Fields? Like, we watched Russell Wilson, and if he surprises it this year and does something good, hey, whatever, right on. But I just have a feeling that I think Tomlin knows that Justin Fields ain't going to be, because you would play him. You would be playing him right now. Like, Russell is not. I mean, last year was not like Russell Wilson was not anything to write home about. So it's just tough for me. I mean, it's tough for like Tomlin. I just have a bad, and I think Fields will be starting this year, maybe, but it's just, I don't know. It's a weird situation, to be honest with you. But I think Atlanta's going to take that game.
I agree with you on that. If Justin Fields was really that, he would come out of he should have easily won that job in the preseason. The fact that he couldn't beat out Russell Wilson, I'd be worried. I think they have no quarterback. You know what they say? If you have two quarterbacks, you don't have a quarterback. Well, I don't think they have a quarterback.
Like the first preseason game, they were like, "Oh, Fields," and then he goes out, fumbles the ball twice, and then out of the Pittsburgh camp, everybody was just like, "Oh, hell no, Tomlin is not happy." I don't know.
On the other side with Atlanta, Raheem Morris, new coach, another retread.
Yeah.
We'll see. He's set up better with this team though than he was when he was a coach of was it Denver, I think.
Denver.
He had the Broncos. So he's set up a lot better with Atlanta in his second go round. So we'll see. And then they got Zach Robinson calling the plays, and he's the old Rams quarterback coach.
Mm-hmm.
So he learned under that McVay system, and we'll see. I like Atlanta in that particular game, and for all the reasons we talked about, I do not like the Steelers. Yes, they have a good defense, but I think they're going to be in over their head in the opening week. The over under is now 48.5, and it opened at 51, and so it dropped. I wish I could have got it at 51 and went under because that's what I was going to do. But now it dropped 3 points. This should be a good game. What's your take on this game?
Just to get back, we messed that one up. Raheem Morris was the coach of Tampa Bay. Vance Joseph was the coach for Denver that year. That time it was Raheem Morris,
That's
Tampa
right.
Bay. I keep getting Raheem and Bulls mixed up, but
You're
it was
absolutely
Raheem
right.
Morris
Yep.
for Tampa Bay. This is gonna be a good game. Who scores the most? I mean, of course, that's how it goes, right? But who scores the most? Honestly, it's like, is there going to be defense in this game? First one to 40, or what's the first one to 30? I think Etienne Jr. is going to show up. Show up this game. I've been doing a couple DFSs, looking around. I like Etienne Jr. Achan. I actually put Achan and Etienne in my same FanDuel or DraftKings, and I kind of took them out, put them in. But right now, I'm still feeling it. I think I was telling you that I like Tua this week. Until you stop him, Tyreek Hill's the man. Jalen Waddle, I hope he does a lot better this year. We picked Waddle 3-4 times last year, and he didn't do nothing. A player that I really like this year, Brian Thomas Jr. They have them as the number 2 in Jacksonville, but Gabe Davis is there, and Christian Kirk. Kirk did an awesome job last year with Ridley next to him. So don't be surprised about Trevor Lawrence this year. Don't be surprised if he comes out and just tears it up and be a top 10 quarterback, easy top 10 quarterback. The kid has a lot of promise. But like I said, I think it's the first 1 to 40. It's kind of hard for me to pick. I think Miami's going to win this game, but don't be surprised if Jacksonville takes this one.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like Miami in this game, but I wouldn't be surprised either if Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence, what's this, his third season? Is this his third or fourth? Because last year it was supposed to be all about Trevor Lawrence, coming into himself with Ridley and, but I think this year could be Trevor Lawrence, his breakout. And if that's the case, this could be a really, really good game. So I'm excited about this game. I would take Miami because they're at home, because McDaniel has that crazy offense. Achan is someone that I wanted. I was able to get him in one league and not the other. The other league, man, they took him way early, way before he wasn't there at the turn at all. But I like Achan. And I think ETN's going to have a good year this year. I really do. So it can go either way. And plenty of fantasy guys out there on this team, on either team. You can go.
This is a big fantasy day for sure.
It is.
For sure. You could probably have easily 5 4 or 5 players on the same roster and then have to take them out because you're like, oh, I can't do that. I can't put them all in one game. I can't put all my, chips in one basket. And I actually was like I was like, oh, Tua. And I was like, oh, Brian Thomas Jr. And oh, H.N. 18. I'm like, oh, crap. I don't want 4 guys in one game,
Right.
Because you're going to start seeing players and not really, oh, yeah, I think he boom, boom, boom. And
Evan
it's like,
Ingram.
Evan Ingram, I think Brian Thomas is going to have a good game this weekend. I don't know. You guys, like I've been saying, I have a big feeling about Xavier Worthy. I have a big feeling about Brian Thomas Jr. I don't know about this weekend. They're going to have a big game. I don't know why. I think A-Chan's going to have a big game. Big game, I think.
I think Brian Thomas Jr. could easily outshine Gabe Davis. Not unless Peterson just uses Gabe Davis, like really gets some targets and feeds him.
Unless they don't want him to. I agree with you.
So Brian Thomas, though, I'm excited to see him. I am.
Me too.
I'm excited to see him play. So you said you had Miami on that one?
Yes, sir. Yep, Miami.
Yep, me too. Houston and Indianapolis.
Ooh, this is another one. They stacked this. They stacked it this week, boy.
Bro.
They really put games that they shouldn't have did. They should not have did it. It's like Georgia should not have played Clemson last week, and they beat them. And I got to give you know what? Hold on, I didn't even do it. That was a great win on Monday, brother, or on Sunday. USC, that was a great win. Man. That was a great win. That game shouldn't have been on the first week. It's LSU.
Right.
Like they wanted USC to lose that
did.
game. They wanted USC to lose that game. And they did. And great game.
Yeah, that was a good one.
USC got defense, bro. First time in years they got defense.
It's about freaking time, bro. It's about time. They've always had offense, no D. So we'll see how it plays out this year. But yeah, I was excited about that, man. That last second, touchdown, and it was good, man. It was a good game.
You see that catch?
Bro,
boy?
Right? Yeah. So okay, so Houston and Indianapolis, though, bro. Talk about stacking. I know you're talking about these games are stacked. Like, man, this game and that game, but talk about this is a created team. Houston is a created team. It's like Madden, and you just start you turn off all the trade things, and you just let any guy go on any team. Bro, they got Diggs. They went out and got Mixon. They got Daniil Hunter. I mean, bro, and they added that to C.J. Stroud, Tank Dell, Nico. Bro, Dallas Schultz, he's going to be odd man out, but he's still really good for his role. He's going to be fine. Man, I'm excited. And then on the other side, if the kid stay, when we did our quarterback rankings, I had him at number 3. I had Richardson at number 3, and I said, if he can stay healthy, he's the most dynamic quarterback of all quarterbacks, which sounds crazy, but for fantasy, because I was listening to our old, I was working, and I was listening to a podcast that we did last year, and it was week 2. I think it was week 2. Richardson had 17 in the first quarter before he got concussed and went out. And me and you were like, man, because you had him that week in FanDuel or something, and you're like, I was waiting, I was ready, but then he went out.
I was going off, yeah. That was when he got hurt. I was going off, and then he got.
So there's a bunch. You got Jonathan Taylor back, and there's just a bunch of,
Donnie Mitchell,
Adonai Mitchell, yeah, and bro, this is gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a good game. Houston is favored by 2 in this one on the road. I think C.J. Stroud's different, bro. I think he's got a little Mahomes in him, maybe a lot of Mahomes in him. I think he goes in and gets it done, man. I just do. But Richardson could make this hard. I just don't know if Indianapolis's defense can stop what's getting ready to come into town. That's all. If it turns into a shootout, I like Houston, and I like their defense better and their defensive mindset.
This is another tough one. Colts have to control the ground game, slow it down. I think Joe Mixon could have a sneaky game, couple touchdowns. I'll get down to the goal line and sneaking in with Joe. But yeah, can the Colts match their offense? Just like you said, can they match? From touchdown to touchdown. We don't know what Houston's going to do. We don't know who they're going to throw to. They have too many weapons. But that's the thing. They have too many weapons not to do something, right? If Downs don't play, Mitchell's going to play. I like the tight end from the Colts. He's a good little sneaky play. Hansen, he's the starter. Millie Cox, I think he's the one that's hurt. I think Houston has too much firepower, but do not be surprised if Anthony Richardson takes over this game and Colts sneak one out. But I got Houston.
If Jonathan Taylor is anything like he was a few years ago, yeah, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. But all that being said, I still got Houston. Houston just did too much. They just did too
Same
much
here.
in the offseason, bro.
And their defense. Yeah, they got a tough
They
defense
do.
too.
They do. All right. Next on the agenda, we go down to LA and we got the Chargers and Vegas, the Raiders. I think Jim Harbaugh is going to bring that tenacity and that attitude to the Chargers. He's a rah-rah, but this dude just knows how to coach them up. He just knows how to get men to play,
Mhm.
And I'm not saying that Pierce can't do that with the Raiders because he improved them a lot last year for sure. But they hired Luke Getzky. That's just like Tomlin hiring Arthur Smith. So because of that, I'm riding with Los Angeles, man. I like the Chargers in this one. They are 3-point favorites at home. And I just think same old Raiders, man. Same old Raiders. I don't think anything's changed. They don't have a quarterback. Minshew, he is all right. He'll have his moments. But in that scheme with Getzky, I don't know. Devontae's a little banged up, but he should be all right to play. We haven't seen Bowers yet. And then on the other side, I'm not sure if Herbert's playing yet. I don't know. I don't see him on this injury list though. So that would tell me that he's probably going to play because I don't see him on their injury. But this injury list that's out is not their official one just yet. Teams haven't dropped their official injury report yet, but he's not showing up as questionable. And we know that Herbert was hurt. So I don't know. They lost receivers. They're a different team.
Big time.
100%. What do you think?
I think they're one of the teams that nobody really knows about this year. Haven't really talking about Herbert at all. Guy could easily be a top 5, top 10 quarterback. Easily, Chargers, they have Bosa, they have Mack, they have Darwin James, they have a great defense. Just don't know what their offense is going to look like. They have, they lost all the receivers. They got Joshua Palmer back. He didn't really do nothing last year. They have Hurst as a tight end. I don't know. It's one of those games you don't know what's going to happen. The Raiders did look a lot better last year at the end. Yeah, like you said, Minshew, and they have a brand new running back with Zamir White, Alexander Madison. I think it's gonna be a close game. It's gonna be a close game, but I can see the Raiders squeaking this one out. I think just because some of their defensive players, and I think the Chargers are going to take a little bit to get going on offense. I mean, they might only lose. They still might even have a playoff team. A lot of people have them to make playoffs this year. It's crazy because it's hardball. But I know he's been bagged up, and that's a plantar fasciitis injury, and that's bad. That takes a while. So I think the Raiders might squeeze one out, but I won't be surprised if the Chargers show up and do a lot of great things this year. To be honest, they have to figure out the running game. They don't, they haven't figured out the running game yet. People are saying Edwards are starting, then Dobbins, and Edwards, Dobbins. I mean, they just took Baltimore's run game and brought it to L.A. That's all they did. So, and Greg Roman's the offensive coordinator, and I don't like Greg Roman.
Well, that's Harbaugh's boy, man. He takes
Yeah.
Greg Roman everywhere. He loves
Everywhere.
Greg Roman, man.
Yeah.
So yeah. And you're right. The Raiders could win this. It's interdivision. It's a rivalry too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I'm with you. I obviously I picked the Chargers, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders came in and stole one week one. All right. Let's power through these last few ones real quick because this is a long opening week cast. You can tell that we've got to get some of the rust off from last year. Denver and Seattle. I don't know, man. Bo Nix. People are saying Bo Nix looks good.
I'm excited.
Good,
Yeah. I'm
Sean Payton, Javonte. I'm excited about Javonte this year, bro. Because in that same cast that we did, I heard us talking about Javonte, and we're talking about how we were expecting a little more from him, but he had like 5 surgeries in that. I mean, his knee was shattered. It was, and then he comes back last year. And usually they say it takes a season, and then the next season's when and I just remember before he got hurt, he was starting to look like we all thought Javonte Williams could look. And if you know anything about Sean Payton, he loves his running backs. He's always had a 1-2 punch. And I think this is Javonte's year, man. I think if he stays healthy, we're going to finally see Javonte Williams. Everything in me is leaning towards Peyton finally getting this ship a little better.
Yep.
And Denver getting this win on the road against Seattle. Where you at on this game?
I'm the same way. I think that he's turning Knicks to a little mini Breeze. I think he thinks he has that. And we haven't seen anything to say that, but I think that he has. I think Peyton thinks he has something going. I like Denver. I have a hard time. I know McDonald's with Seattle now, so their defense might be a little tougher. Defensive mind. I just don't. It's hard. It's hard for me to say anything good about Seattle right now. They just but Kenneth Walker's been assigned running back this year. Nobody's really talked about him. Lockett, he's going to play, but he's been hurt. Jigba Smith, they have a lot of hope with him this year. A lot of people are saying they think he's going to show up.
I agree with
Metcalf. But I think Denver's going to win this game. I really do.
I do too.
I think Sean Payton, the second full year of Sean Payton, I think Sean Payton's going to go in there and win this game.
No, I agree.
I think Denver's going to win this game.
I agree. I do think that they're coming in dogs. They're getting 6, coming in dogs. I think. I mean, I may put a little money on this one, and take Denver in this game. But I do like Kenneth Walker III this year. I think he's gonna have a good year. I think he's gonna have if he stays healthy, really good year, and they'll use him and Charbonnet together.
Yeah.
But I think he's just dynamic, bro. The dude's badass, and I think he's gonna, you get a couple of years in the NFL, then it just starts becoming more you could be your natural self again on the field. You know what I'm saying? Once you figure it out, I think he's to that point in his career. Okay. Dallas is going to Ohio to play against the Cleveland Browns. We talked about what we thought about CD. Hopefully he won't get hurt, but that's a concern for me for sure. If CD does get hurt in that game, which I don't want that because I drafted CD. I have him on one of my teams.
I did too.
Dallas has nothing else.
Brandon Cooks, Jake Ferguson.
You know what I'm saying?
No running game. The running game is.
And let's just be honest. Zeke's not gonna.
Rico
Rico is gonna take over that. He should take over that job, but you just never. Jerry Jones runs the team, bro. So you just never know. Dak should be good. Cleveland's favorite by 2.5. The only thing I would really touch on this game, because I don't know who's going to win this game, to be honest, because I don't know what Stefanski's is going to do with that, what Deshaun's going to do in their running game. I'm not sold on Ford. I still think, even though they lost a lot of, they lost some talent on the defensive side, Dallas, and they lost their defensive coordinator. So I don't know what defense we're going to see out of Dallas. I would imagine the culture is still good. They still have Micah, and so they should still be tough on defense. Only thing I would do is go on the under here. It's 41.5. But I don't know who's going to win this game, man. If I had to have a gun to my head, I could see Dallas going in there, squeaking one out, coming out 1-0 against Cleveland. There's just too many questions about Cleveland for me, and Deshaun Watson.
I think for being in Cleveland, I think that Cleveland's going to win this game.
It's because you hate the Cowboys.
Dallas had games last year that they just smoked everybody, and then they had games that they got smoked. So I think Cleveland will win because they're in Cleveland. Watson's name has been quiet all year. Nobody's talked about him last year. Maybe that will make him come in and play a lot better. It's kind of hard to see a guy that has so much talent and did what he did for that 2 years in Houston when he was that guy, and all of a sudden lose, like, no talent at all. No, it's all in his head. And last year, his name was thrown around the whole year. This year, nobody's really talked about him. So without Nick Chubb, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a defensive game. But I pick Cleveland because they're in Cleveland. And fantasy wise, I don't know. It's going to be rough. I mean, you could run with a CD and Dak, Amari Cooper, Judy. But I mean, if anything, I like Njoku as a tight end to kind of do something this week. But
yeah,
I got Cleveland.
Yeah. All right. We just have a couple more to go here. The Rams and Lions in Detroit. Quarterbacks come back and play the old teams just like they did last year. Over under is 50.5. They could easily blow that out the water, but they could easily not blow that out of the water too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I think because it's week one, I'd go under on this one. I like the Lions, just flat out. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons I like the Lions. I think Montgomery is going to have a big role, depending on, especially with Jahmyr Gibbs, a little banged up. Gibbs should play because he's already back to practice, so he should play. And if he's going to play, he's going to play. You know what I mean? He's going to ball. But Montgomery, I think, be ready for him. I'm excited to see what Jameson Williams is going to do this year. Finally getting a start from the beginning of the season, a full training camp. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited to see what he's going to do. We already know about the other boys. Laporta, he's been banged up, but I think he's trending towards playing. And then you have St. Brown, who's just a beast. So we'll see, man. Jared Goff looks like he's comfortable. On the other side, Stafford, Cup, Puka. Puka's going to, from everything saying he's going to play. He's questionable, but he's going to play. Kieran Williams, though, man, he stays healthy. He's going to be a handful for anybody this year. So I got the Lions, though.
It's going to be a great game. Both receivers on the Rams side, 1.5 on the Detroit side. Or you could say 2.5 with Laporta. The Rams starting tight ends out for the first 4 games, maybe more. Higbee, Williams. They both have 2 powerful offenses, man, to be honest. Who's going to be the best receiver that day? Is it going to be Cooper? I think Cooper, like you said in the beginning, when we first had our first podcast when we did receivers, Cooper Kupp could take the throne again away from Puka, Cooper was hurt all last year, so. But I still think Detroit's going to take this game. They have a little better defense. Rams are without Aaron Donald this year. First game without him in a real game. I got Detroit, and I think Gibbs is going to take the rock more than Montgomery. And I understand they want to run the ball with Montgomery a lot more, but I think they're going to have to pick one, like I said in the beginning. I got Detroit.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. It's going to be a good game, though. It's going to be fun. I think it'll be a real
Great
fun
game.
game. All right, 2 more to go. You
Great
got the
game.
Commanders and the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay. The Buccaneers are favored by 3.5. Over and under is 43.5, which is kind of interesting. That over and under. Jaden Daniels. That's the story here. Is Jaden Daniels. And I think there's another story, man, that is really kind of under the radar a little bit. Austin Eckler. I don't think he's done. I don't think Austin Eckler just all of a sudden is no good now. I don't believe that for the life of me. I just think that you know, he can do some damage this year under the radar. I know that Robinson is the starting running back.
The
Yeah,
starter.
the starting.
But I thought Eckler going in was going to be the starter, but then they're saying Brian Robinson, and I think that messed up my head this year because Brian Robinson, I loved him the year before. I loved the last year. I thought he should have got more. I mean, did a little better. And then this year, I was like, oh well, Eckler's probably going to start, and he's probably going to take it. But then it's like, no, Brian Robinson's starting, so I like Brian Robinson a lot.
Yeah, I think that their offense we saw what Kingsbury did with Kyler in the NFL. And so I think to expect something of that pace, of an offense. And we also saw what he did with SC last year, real fast pace, high scoring offense. So he can run an offense. That's where he's best suited, I think. And then you have Dan Quinn on the other side. You saw what he did with that Dallas defense. And Washington, man, they may come in and if Jaden Daniels is the real deal, they could come in and do some damage, man. So I don't know. I don't know if they can go in and beat Tampa Bay, but I'm gonna take them, man. I'm gonna take Washington to come in and on the upset. I know that Tampa Bay. I've been talking about Baker's figured it out. I think he has figured it out, man. I think Baker's loving his NFL life finally. He's got some good receivers over there. But I'm not sold on Rachaad White. I think Rachaad White, he had more volume than any running back last year. And that's why he had his fantasy value so high last year. But he's not a game breaker, bro. There's nothing like flashy about this guy. And there doesn't have to be. But maybe I'm just rooting for Washington. I don't know. Maybe I'm just hoping that they come in and do something, And I don't think Terry McLaurin's done either, bro. They're saying he hasn't had a quarterback.
Right.
His whole career, he's not really had a real quarterback. So that's what I think, man. I think Washington's going to come in and get it. They get 3.5. I'll take those 3.5. If I was a betting man.
Well, we got to see what Mayfield could do without Canellis. Everybody's saying that he kind of made Mayfield last year, but we'll see. But I don't know. It's one of those games that it's a flip of a coin to me. Tampa Bay did make the playoffs last year, but is that team going to be that this year?
They still have Todd Bowles.
It's Bruce Arians' team, pretty much, to be honest. But without Tom Brady. But the thing is, look, it's. Right. I think a lot of people want to see Baker fail. For some reason, they don't like Baker Mayfield. A lot of people don't. And like you say, you think Baker would be the real deal. It's the same offense. Same exact offense. Mike Evans, Godwin. They got another receiver there now. They got Bucky Irvin with Rachaad White. So I think Washington's going to win this game. I really do. Tampa Bay had a lot of great games last year. I don't know how their defense, I know they lost a couple guys off the defense this year. I just got a feeling that Washington's going to win this game.
I'm with you 100% for some reason. I'm excited to see what Jaden Daniels is going to do and Eckler. I just am for some reason.
Same here. I mean, White is still with Tampa Bay, right? White's still there, and
Mm-hmm.
Whitfield's still there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't really lose their big guys, but I just got a feeling that's pretty much it. I just got a feeling that Commander's going to win this game.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Okay. Last game on the slate. It's tugging at your heartstrings.
Yeah.
Bro, I got the Jets, bro. Jets are gonna come into San Francisco and they're gonna show the Niners what for. No, I'm just nah, if I'm really breaking this game down, man, Jets, Niners,
It could happen.
anything could happen. Niners are 4.5 point favorites in this one. I think it really comes down to this. Straight up this. One is Salah. Is he, was he able just to figure the defense out and get him playing like a number one defense? All accounts are saying that the Jets are an elite defense coming into the season. Elite. You're not hearing that about the Niners, but the Niners, that's just in their DNA. They're going to be a great defensive team. Again, I know they lost some players on the defensive side of the ball, Armstead and whatever, but I think the Niners, man, they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine on defense. What it comes down to me is the old man. Is Rodgers going to be Rodgers? Is he going to finally have these new toys like he has Garrett Wilson, Brees Hall, Mike Williams? I think Mike Williams is going to play.
Is he?
Let's see. The last thing I got on Mike Williams is he is expected to be available for New York's regular season opener. So they got Mike Williams, and you give Aaron Rodgers these kind of, tools to work with. It's just going to be, is Rodgers going to look rusty? Is he going to, he hasn't played in 2 years. Well, he didn't play all last year. He missed a whole season. So, and then he's playing against the team that just got back from the Super Bowl and is pissed. They still feel like they got something to prove. On the other side, you got arguably still the best player in football with McCaffrey. You got a Purdy who's getting better. Ayuk just got his money, so who knows what the hell he's going to do. Debo is going to be Debo. Kittle, if they use him, he's unguardable. I like the Niners at home, man. If I'm putting all my questions on Rodgers, I got to say the better team is going to win. I like the Niners at home.
A little worry on this game. Like you said, Rodgers, he gets the ball out quick. Brees Hall is dynamic. That's a good play, like you're doing the Monday night thing. McCaffrey or Brees Hall. Jets have a great defense, like you said. Quentin Williams, Sauce Gardner, Reed. The only thing I think the Jets, for some reason, they just they get coaches that are garbage. Not garbage, but okay, great defense coach. But Joe Douglas, the general manager, and then you got the owner. It's just like Hassan Reddick is on their team, sitting there waiting for them. They trade for him from Philly. They know he wanted a contract from Philly, and then they trade for him and they don't give him a contract. The reason that Philly traded him because he wanted a contract. And I'm glad Hassan Reddick's not going to be there this Monday. That boy, he's the one that broke Purdy's elbow. So I'm a little worried. Jets got a great defense. Rodgers gets the ball out quick. Brees Hall. There's a lot of what ifs about the Niners defense this year. Like you said, they lost Armstead. Armstead didn't really show too much last year, to be honest. Chase Young is gone. Didn't really show. There's some other players, but we got Leonard Floyd, we got Matos, we got some guys. Greenlaw's hurt. He's still out. Dre Greenlaw's out.
That's tough. That's a big one.
Yeah, Greenlaw's still out from the Super Bowl injury. But the offense is back. The kid, Ricky Pearsall, was really excited to see him this Monday. He was going to be the number 3. He's out for 4 games. They said that just for probably 4 games, though. I was seeing something, but it's going to be a good game. I think the Niners will squeeze it out. I think they will take it, but there's so much hype on that New York Jets team, and I wish they weren't playing the Niners the first game, to be honest, because I would like to see him do something. But there's a lot of hype on that game, on that team, man.
Yeah,
It's all Jets. Like it's Aaron Rodgers, what it was supposed to be last year, this year. I got the Niners, but on a there's pretty much there's a lot of play for fantasy on that game. McCaffrey, Hall, Wilson, Samuel, Ayuk, Kittle. There's a lot. Their defense.
Yeah.
So
Nathaniel Hackett, that's
that's
Aaron
the thing.
Rodgers'
Nathaniel
old boy.
Hackett.
That's
the
Aaron
thing.
Rodgers' old boy. He loves him.
Yeah.
They love each other. So we'll see, man. It should be a good game. It definitely should be a good game. I could see why you'd be concerned with that one. Another Monday night for Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers is just enough of a dog to put up a big fight and to make this a game. So yeah. But yeah, so there's the show, but it was our first one out of the chute. We are so excited. Thanks for listening. I'm Lonnie. He is Jake, and we will catch you on the next one.